What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. If it's geeky, if it's nerdy, this is where we talk about it right here. And The Queen's Gambit is what we're going to be talking about right now. Guys, I binge watched The Queen's Gambit in one day. One day I binge watched it. And that's really surprising to me. And I'll tell you why it's really surprising. Because if you had told me 1 week ago that I would have been riveted by people playing chess, I would have told you to leave. Get out of my house. I don't even like to play chess that much. I say that. Hang on. I say that. As I just bought a chessboard. The 2020 election. We got Republicans versus Democrats. You know who wins? Nobody. So, I like to play chess enough, but I'm not crazy about chess like some people are. I know people who can sit down and play chess for hours. Not me. I'm speed chess. I speed chess. If the game goes more than 30 minutes, And, yeah, I was just riveted by this show. It kind of had shades of Searching for Bobby Fischer in it. I mean, obviously the plot is this young girl gets introduced to chess at a young age. She's an orphan. She's had tragedy in her life. She's living in this orphanage in the 50s. And she learns how to play chess. It becomes her outlet. In the process, she also becomes addicted to drugs. And as she grows up, she becomes one of the top chess players in the world, while also being an addict, somebody who's struggling with substance abuse. Her entire life, one of the best chess players in the world, struggling with substance abuse. One of the best chess players in the world, struggling with substance abuse. And she has people in her life who are enabling her. Some are enabling her. Some are helping her. She's got people in her life who are taking advantage of her, and people who genuinely care about her and want her to be the best version of her. They got people in her life who start out as competitors with her and turn into allies. And what I love about the show, and what I think the real strength to this show is that a lot of the characters that she runs across, because this show spans several years. It probably spans at least a decade. As she marches to become the best chess player in the world. It spans at least a decade, I would think. Not counting her childhood, just her adult life. And the people that she runs across who become reoccurring characters, lots of them are very complex people who go through changes in their life. Like there's this one guy that she beat for the state title, and she had such an impact on him that he changes his life as a response to how he feels about her and her beating him, and then ultimately how he feels about her. And he comes back later on and is an ally to her. It's an Apollo Creed move where he goes from competitor to coach, ally, and you see that happening a lot. You see that happening with a lot of characters in this show, where she runs across them, and then throughout the course of the show they change. And I just like that. I like the complexity of the characters. I like the fact that there's some despicable people in her life. I like the fact that there's people who genuinely care about her. Her roommate in the orphanage is somebody who pops up late in this show again and is just fantastic. A lot of great characters in this show. But let's talk about the star. The star is Anya Taylor-Joy. And I'm becoming much more of a big fan of this actress. I first took notice of her in Split and Glass, and quite frankly, her roles in Split and Glass was so toned down because she wasn't the star. The star is the comic book characters, right? She was just the victim, the heroine. She was a supporting character in every sense of the word, especially in Glass. And then I really, really, really enjoyed her portrayal of magic in New Mutants. Now, if you remember, I liked New Mutants. I did. I liked it. I didn't love all the performances in it, but I liked the movie and I loved her performance of magic. I had a really good time with her role. So in this, she does such a wonderful job of playing somebody who's very complex. Somebody who, is driven. Somebody who starts out as a little socially awkward. Somebody who is battling an addiction. Her personality, the changes her personality goes through because of the addiction, whether it's a personality change while she's taking the drugs or while she's drinking the alcohol, or the personality changes she goes through while she's using it in an extended binge form. She goes through a lot of personal changes from the beginning of the show. I mean, even the way that she dresses, the way that she carries herself, the way that she speaks to others, to by the end of the show, she's this completely different person. She's grown. There's been a real character change there. But at the end of the day, this is a show about chess. This is a show about somebody trying to become the best chess player in the world. But it's also a show about addiction, and it's a show about substance abuse. And that's, like I said, that's what I really liked about this show, was the complexity behind it and the drama. And there was some funny moments in it, and there was a lot of just really likable characters in it. I can't recommend this enough. It's one of my favorite shows of the year so far. I really liked The Queen's Gambit. The storytelling was very sophisticated in the way that it took her life and told it over an extended period of time. They could have just focused the entire show on her preparation, her match, and her the resolution that she had with the Russian. That was kind of the main fight, right? That was the world championship fight. And they could have just focused on that, but they chose not to. They chose to give it a lot more context. On that note, though, I will say that, in my opinion, the biggest weakness of this show and the biggest problem I had with it was they really drug it out. They really drug it out, and it was a lot longer than it needed to be. This was 7 episodes. Each episode was about an hour long. I feel like they could have told this in 4 or 5 episodes. I really do. I feel like they could have done a good job telling the story in 4 or 5 episodes. They just drug so much of it out. And I'm sitting here thinking in my head, what would I cut? And nothing's coming to me right now. But I remember there were just points in the show where I was like, okay, something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. So I'm sure that smarter filmmakers than me could have figured out a way to condense this and make its pacing a little bit better, because I didn't love the pace of the show. It did slow down a lot. But that's just a small gripe. I really like The Queen's Gambit a lot. I thought it was a very good series, and this isn't something I don't think we're going to get a season 2 to this. I think this was a one-off, and it should be a one-off. I don't think this needs a season 2. It ended. Its resolution was perfect. This is the end of the story, and it was a very good story. So that's just my take on it. What did you think of The Queen's Gambit on Netflix? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear if I'm the only person who's not crazy about chess that liked this movie. Make sure you subscribe to my this show. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of content. Want to make sure you're up to date with what I'm doing. And as always, thank you for joining me here at the OQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.